Police have DNA, fingerprints, and a lot of physical evidence. What they don't have is the person who murdered a 19-year-old Three Rivers woman in 1988.
It was the first time many could remember something like this happening in the small southwest Michigan town. And in the 25 years since, nothing has come close. Cathy Swartz's murder was bloody and brutal, and it happened with her 9-month-old daughter in the next room. As WSBT's Kristin shows us, even 2 decades later, it still doesn't make sense.
Probably right there, before she died.
It's been 25 years, but remembering hasn't gotten any easier for David Swartz.
I think, yeah, probably the worst thing for me is the why. Why? Why did it have to happen like something like that?
Swartz's daughter, Cathy Sue, was brutally murdered in 1988. Cathy was a tomboy. She loved hunting with her dad, and she was an exceptional artist. But this is all that's left behind now. Photographs, drawings, memories, and a lot of unanswered questions.
The door was basically open, so we just walked right in.
When police got the call on December 2nd, 1988, Mike Mooney, then a rookie cop, was one of the first on the scene.
Any adjective that you probably could think of as far as describing a brutal, violent scene was there.
It was nothing like he had ever seen, and nothing like he's ever seen since. Now, Detective Sergeant Mooney is in charge of the 25-year-old case, and more determined than ever to solve it.
This is just one of probably 20 boxes.
It was a cold December morning. Christmas was still a month away. Cathy's boyfriend left early for work, leaving her and her 9-month-old daughter, Courtney, at the apartment with plans to do laundry. When he arrived home that afternoon, he made the horrible discovery. Blood throughout the apartment, Cathy's body in her upstairs bedroom.
The autopsy would say that she was killed from the stab wounds, but she was, prior to that, she was brutally beaten. There's evidence that at one point in time she may have been strangled.
Cathy was stabbed over and over, but a murder weapon was never found. Investigators believe the attack happened in late morning because Cathy was still dressed in her night clothes, and Courtney was found safely in her crib with a clean diaper. There were no signs of forced entry, leading police to believe Cathy was familiar with her attacker, and she probably unlocked the door to let them in. From
the scene and the evidence at the scene, it looks like the struggle started downstairs in the kitchen area, and then it carried to, I guess you call it the foyer area that leads to the front door, and then up the stairway, and then down the hallway to her bedroom.
The scene was bloody, but police say it wasn't all Cathy's blood. They believe the killer was injured in the attack as well, leaving behind blood evidence and a fingerprint. And what's more, police believe Cathy's killer cleaned up and changed clothes before leaving the apartment after the murder. They found a bloody footprint in the bathroom.
They did something in there. There's no reason for them to have a naked footprint on the floor, because it's not summertime, so you're not going to come barefooted. So what did you do? Did you take that footwear off and change it? Did you use some of, Cathy's clothes? Did you use some of her boyfriend's clothes?
This is a rendering of a person seen leaving Cathy's home around that time. Is it the killer? Police don't know. Either way, they think this person might have information about Cathy's death. For the last 25 years, police have been wanting to close this case, especially Mooney, who's been a part of it since the beginning.
It's not gone away. We haven't given up by any means, so we'll never give up. It just takes time. 25 years is a long time.
There's Courtney right there.
And no one knows that better than David Swartz, who wants nothing more than justice for his daughter.
They can tell you what kind of shoe the person wore, fingerprints, footprints, DNA, they got everything. But yet they haven't got nobody yet.
That DNA evidence has been tested against Cathy's family, her boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend, and their families. It doesn't match. And while police know whether it is from a man or a woman, they won't say which. They've also footprinted 5,000 people to see if they match that footprint found in the bathroom. No match so far. It's also important to mention that the person who did this probably left with injuries, so that might trigger someone's memory. If you know anything, call police.
You can't stop thinking, or at least I can't, about that 9-month-old girl. I mean, what happened to her?
Well,
Her
she's all grown up now. Cathy's father and mother raised her. She lives in Constantine. She looks almost exactly like Cathy.
Yeah. And sometimes it's that one phone call, you know, that one tip, that one phone call that can help solve the case. So.
Yeah, police say sometimes the reason people don't talk is because they think cops already know what they know. Never assume that. Call anyway. We put the information on our website.
Kristin, thanks.